Hi, I'm James Platten, and this is an example of a few different simple post-processing effects that can be implemented in DirectX through the use of modified pixel shaders. So at the moment you can see that this off-screen texture up here is rendering the same thing as the scene, so whatever the original scene is will be rendered up here, and then the post-processing effects that will be displayed as we cycle through them in the main scene. So this first one is just a simple black and white texture, and that is just achieved by a couple of lines of code here. We dot the color value that's been initially sampled with this grayscale component, and then set all the values to the same component regardless of whether it's red, green or blue, and output that as the final color back to the program. This next shader is a time-based saturation. So it's simply using a tan to figure out what the time is and apply a level of saturation based on that. It could be useful for something like a nuclear explosion nearby causing the screen to get really bright. Regardless, it's just a cool effect that I thought I would display. And again, that's quite simple. It's just done by, we're passing this time in via constant buffer and setting a saturation level unless it's below a specific point, because we don't want the screen to be completely black, and then multiplying this in with the final material color. The last example I want to show is just some simple cell shading, so also might be known as a toon shader. It looks better on the apple object than the stone brick, and this is just done by essentially setting an amount of levels. This doesn't have to be 4, it could be 3 or 6 or however many levels of brightness that we want to sample, and then flooring it so that we're limiting the amount of different colours that can be sampled in the scene. Then make sure this is balanced, add on a little colour just to make it look a bit nicer than it did originally, and that's how we produce the final effect that we see here in the scene. Be sure to check back, because I may add more effects as I go along. This is just the first few initial attempts I had at writing different pixel shaders, but thank you for listening. I hope it was informative. Goodbye.